Have you ever wondered why some old, simple, and forgotten recipes seem to work better than many modern medicines? There is a natural, powerful, and almost unknown combination that was used by grandmothers in the countryside to treat a problem that still affects millions of people today. We're talking about something straight from the backyard, a common fruit and a specific leaf that, when combined, trigger a true revolution inside the body. The guava, which you may see as just another fruit, holds secrets that science has only recently begun to uncover. Yes, it's rich in fiber, but that's not all. Inside it are natural compounds capable of acting as true internal cleansing agents. But on its own, it doesn't do everything. What makes this recipe so surprising is what happens when you mix guava with a leaf that, at first glance, seems ordinary. A leaf that many ignore, but that holds within it a direct effect on intestinal function, toxin elimination, and even blood health. The most impressive part? This mixture was used not only as treatment, but also as prevention. Entire generations swore it kept the body light and the blood clean. Something we might now call detox, but back then, it was simply the natural way of staying healthy. Why did this combination disappear from modern habits? Could it be that it works so well that it bothers some? Or have we simply lost the habit of paying attention to what the earth offers us freely? And most importantly, what really happens inside your body when you consume this mixture? What comes out after taking this natural remedy may surprise, and even shock, those who have never cared for their gut health in a natural way. Now that you understand the power of guava, it's time to talk about the leaf that transforms this fruit into a true natural remedy. But before revealing its name, it's important to understand why it was forgotten, even though it was used for centuries. In many rural areas of Brazil and neighboring countries, it was common to see people boiling leaves in clay pots, mixing them with fresh fruits, all without exact measurements, just the intuition of experience. One of these leaves, which grows in backyards, gardens, and even on sidewalks in small towns, was almost always used along with guava when someone felt their intestines were heavy, their belly bloated, or their body swollen. This leaf not only stimulates the elimination of accumulated toxins, but also acts directly on the gut flora, restoring balance to the digestive system. It contains a natural compound that works as a mild anti-inflammatory, a gentle diuretic, and a natural antimicrobial, making it ideal for internal cleansing without harming the body. What's most curious is that, when combined with the right type of fruit, in this case, guava, its effect seems to multiply. This is because the nutrients in the fruit enhance the absorption of the leaf's active compounds, creating a result that begins just a few hours after consumption. And what comes out of the body after consuming this mixture can be quite visible. Lighter stools, trapped gas being released naturally, and in many cases, a noticeable reduction in abdominal bloating on the same day. But after all, what leaf is this? Many people will be surprised to discover that it's easy to find in markets, street fairs, and even natural pharmacies. It has a simple name, a strong smell, and was considered sacred by some ancient peoples of South America. The leaf in question, once used by grandmothers and now almost forgotten, is the mint leaf. Yes, the same one many people use just to garnish dishes or flavor tea. But what few know is that, when combined with ripe guava, it activates an internal cleansing process that goes far beyond digestion. Mint is rich in menthol, a natural compound with antispasmodic properties that helps relax the intestinal muscles, facilitating the elimination of accumulated waste. Additionally, it has a carminative action, meaning it helps expel trapped gas, relieving bloating and discomfort. But what makes this mixture with guava so special is not just the individual effects of each ingredient, it's what happens when they meet inside the body. The combination boosts both anti-inflammatory and digestive effects, stimulating the liver and kidneys to function more efficiently. This leads the body into a kind of internal detox. Folk wisdom said this mixture cleans even the blood. Today, science confirms that regular consumption can help reduce inflammatory markers, improve bowel movements, and even aid in glucose control, thanks to the fiber in guava combined with the phytonutrients in mint. But attention, the way you prepare this mixture makes all the difference. It's not enough to simply blend everything and drink it. There is a specific method, passed down through generations, that ensures the compounds remain active and effective. And this preparation begins by choosing the right type of guava, and the right time to harvest or buy the mint leaves. The color, texture, and even the scent of the leaf indicate whether it's at its optimal point for therapeutic use. Before revealing the traditional way to prepare this powerful mixture, we need to talk about a very common, and often ignored, mistake that can completely cancel out the effects of the recipe: the ripeness of the guava and the condition of the mint leaves. The guava used in this mixture should not be too ripe nor too green. If it's too soft, the natural sugars rise to levels that interfere with the fiber's action and the interaction with the mint compounds. If it's green, the natural tannins in the fruit may have the opposite effect. Instead of helping eliminate waste, it can slow down digestion, especially in those with naturally sluggish intestines. The ideal guava is ripe on the outside but firm on the inside. The skin should yield slightly to the touch, but not show spots or dark patches. This ensures the fruit is at its peak of active nutrients with a balanced amount of fiber and water. As for the mint, although it may seem simple, it requires special attention. Wilted, yellowed, or very dark leaves have already lost much of their essential oils. The ideal mint leaf should be a vibrant green, have a strong aroma, and be structurally firm. If it's freshly picked or properly stored, even better. Now, the preparation. The secret is not to boil the mint together with the guava. Instead, an old technique called cross-infusion is used, which involves gently heating the mint, not boiling, to release the menthol and volatile compounds. Meanwhile, blend the guava with a little water to create a kind of fresh pulp. Then, the mint infusion is mixed with the guava pulp at a warm temperature, never too hot, to avoid killing the fruit's active compounds. This preparation allows the active elements of both plants to meet at the right moment and, once ingested, act directly on the digestive system and liver. But the most surprising part is yet to come. This combination doesn't just cleanse the intestines, it can cause noticeable changes in the skin, breathing, and even sleep. And that's due to a little-known effect of mint that only appears when combined with lycopene-rich foods like guava. The first 12 hours after consuming the guava and mint mixture are, for many, an unexpected experience. Most people expect simple digestive relief. But what happens goes far beyond that. Those who have never gone through a natural cleansing process may be surprised by how the body reacts, almost as if it were getting rid of what no longer belongs. The action starts in the intestines, where the combination of soluble fiber from guava and essential oils from mint begins to soothe the intestinal lining. It's as if the body were being lubricated from the inside, making it easier to eliminate mucus, trapped gas, and even small toxins stuck in the intestinal folds. At the same time, the liver is also stimulated. Mint's menthol has a mild choleretic effect, meaning it helps the liver produce more bile, a vital liquid for fat digestion and the elimination of metabolic waste. Guava's lycopene, on the other hand, acts as an antioxidant, protecting liver cells during this filtering process. The result: in many people, urine changes in color and smell, the intestines begin to work more lightly and frequently, and abdominal bloating, that feeling of a hard belly, noticeably decreases. But that's when a new effect starts to appear. With the intestines and liver freer, the body has more room to self-regulate. That's why many report better breathing, a sense of mental relief, and even deeper sleep on the first night after taking the mixture. Why does this happen? Because the intestines are closely connected to the brain and nervous system. When they're overloaded, they send signals that increase stress, anxiety, and disturb rest. When they function well, those signals turn into well-being. But there's something even more curious. Some people report that after 2 or 3 consecutive days of taking the mixture, their skin starts to change. Less oiliness, controlled acne, and even lightening of spots in some cases. Could it be just coincidence? Most people don't imagine that a simple mix of fruit and herb could affect such different areas of the body. But when we talk about guava with mint, we're talking about a natural combo that works in a chain reaction, and one of the most unexpected effects appears on the skin. What does this have to do with the gut? Everything. The skin is the body's largest organ, and often the first to show signs of internal toxicity. Acne, blemishes, excess oil, dryness. Many of these reactions are ways the body tries to eliminate impurities that the kidneys and intestines can't process properly. When the intestines start to function better thanks to the fiber from guava, and the liver is stimulated by mint, the body enters a state of regulation. The pressure on the skin as an elimination route decreases. And that's when many people notice improvements in their appearance, skin tone, and even texture. But there's more. Guava is rich in vitamin C and lycopene, both powerful antioxidants. Mint, besides menthol, contains a range of polyphenol that reduce silent inflammation, which often appears as mild skin allergies or unexplained itching. These effects together can help lighten the skin, even out skin tone, and restore the glow many lose over time, especially those who suffer from chronic indigestion, constipation, or poor diet. And that's why many natural therapists call this combination a silent cure. Because it doesn't just act where you expect, but deeply and systemically, awakening mechanisms that had been dormant for years. But there's something even more impressive. There are reports of people who, after consuming this mixture regularly, experienced improvements in mood, anxiety, and even mild episodes of unexplained sadness. This is directly related to the gut. For a long time, the gut was seen only as a passage organ, the final destination of food before elimination. But more recent studies have shown that the gut is much more than that. It's an emotional and neurological control center that communicates directly with the brain. That's why it's now called the second brain. This communication happens through the vagus nerve and through chemical substances produced by gut bacteria. Substances like serotonin, which is directly linked to mood, sleep, and the feeling of well-being, are produced up to 90% in the gut. In other words, if the gut is inflamed, blocked, or toxic, the production of these substances drops, leading to irritability, insomnia, sadness, and even mild symptoms of depression. That's why so many people begin to feel emotionally better when they change their diet and regulate their digestive health. The guava and mint mixture works exactly at that root. It helps clean, restore, and rebalance the gut. With that, serotonin production increases naturally, without the need for supplements or medication. In addition, mint has properties that act directly on the central nervous system. Menthol, for example, has a mild sedative and anxiolytic effect, helping to calm the mind, reduce muscle tension, and improve sleep quality. Guava, with its antioxidant power, fights oxidative stress, one of the main culprits behind early aging and mental exhaustion. The combination of these two ingredients creates an inner balance that improves not only the physical body, but also brings peace to the mind. Some people even report a kind of mental clarity, as if they were thinking more clearly and lightly. But there's something even more curious. According to old accounts from natural medicine practitioners, this mixture was also used as preparation for fasting or spiritual purification processes. They believed that cleansing the body also helped to purify the soul. In many corners of Brazil and Latin America, especially in the older, more remote communities far from the urban centers, healers, herbalists, and traditional prayer women didn't use plants only to treat the body. They also used them to purify the soul. Among the most commonly used combinations in spiritual cleansing rituals, the mixture of fruits with fresh leaves always held a special place. Guava with mint was one of the most frequently used. But why? For these ancient earth sages, everything that made the body sick began in the invisible. Heavy energies, negative thoughts, unresolved grief, accumulated fears. That's why, before any physical treatment, they would recommend an inner cleanse, not just physical, but also spiritual. Guava, with its soft sweetness and warm energy, was seen as a fruit of peace. Mint, with its sharp freshness and strong aroma, was regarded as a cleansing herb, capable of warding off negative influences and calming a restless heart. Drinking the mixture first thing in the morning, still on an empty stomach, was a common practice in the days before powerful prayers, herbal baths, or healing sessions. They believed that by cleansing from within, the body became more receptive to healing from above. Some even reported sensations like lightness in the chest, the urge to cry for no reason, vivid dreams, or old memories resurfacing, all interpreted as signs that something was being released. Modern science may not explain these experiences with precise formulas, but it's no coincidence that today, holistic therapists and emotional detox practitioners still use the same combination in protocols for mental and energetic balance. And this ancient practice leads us to another curious point. The tradition of preparing this mixture not only for adults, but also for children and the elderly, as a way to strengthen, protect, and purify. One of the greatest strengths of this natural recipe lies in its versatility. It wasn't just used by adults seeking detox or balance. On the contrary, children, the elderly, and even pregnant women were guided to consume it in adapted versions, precisely because it's gentle, natural, and kind to the body. For children, especially those who suffered from constipation, worms, or frequent stomach aches, mothers and grandmothers would prepare the mixture as a kind of guava mash with warm mint water. The pleasant taste made it easy for kids to take, and the effect was quick. The intestines started working, the belly deflated, and sleep improved. For the elderly, this recipe was seen as a safe way to keep the bowels regular without the need for harsh laxatives. Many old accounts mention that, after a few days of drinking the mixture in the morning, gas, reflux, and bloating would decrease, and energy levels would return. But special care was taken. Mint was used in smaller amounts and in a very light infusion, since the aging body tends to be more sensitive to the plant's essential oils. The guava, on the other hand, was always served fresh or lightly cooked to ease digestion. Even pregnant women would use this combination under popular guidance, especially in the first months, when digestion slows down and nausea becomes more frequent. In small amounts, mint helped relieve morning sickness, while guava provided fiber, iron, and vitamin C, all essential during pregnancy. These varied uses show that this recipe goes far beyond a simple, homemade mix. It's a form of ancestral care, passed down through generations with practical wisdom and intuitive observation. And even with all its known benefits, this combination seems to trigger something even deeper, a true change in appetite, food cravings, and even how the body reacts to heavy foods. One of the most surprising effects many people report after a few days of drinking the guava and mint mixture is an almost inexplicable change in their relationship with food. Suddenly, what used to be an automatic habit, like snacking on sweets, going back for seconds, or craving greasy foods, starts to lose its grip. It's not that the person is on a diet. It's that the body simply stops asking for it. But how does that happen? In practice, this recipe helps regulate the natural hunger and satiety sensors located in the gut and liver. When the body is inflamed, toxic, and out of balance, it sends confusing signals to the brain. That's why people eat without hunger, crave sugar constantly, and never feel satisfied. Guava, with its high fiber and antioxidant content, helps stabilize blood sugar levels, preventing spikes that lead to cravings. Mint, in turn, has a mild calming effect that reduces anxiety, one of the biggest triggers for overeating. Even more, this combination helps the liver process fats more efficiently. As a result, digestion becomes more effective, the body absorbs nutrients better, and the feeling of fullness comes sooner and lasts longer. Over time, this naturally leads to a reduction in overeating. And when the intestines are clean, food passes more easily, with less fermentation and retention. This explains why so many people report gentle, spontaneous weight loss, simply from incorporating the mixture into their routine. But there's something even more interesting. Some people say that after 2 weeks of using the recipe, they started to feel more energy, greater alertness in the morning, and even improved focus, as if the body felt lighter inside and the brain worked more clearly. This is related to a little discussed but extremely important process, deep liver detoxification, which occurs gradually with regular use of the mixture. If the gut is the second brain, then the liver is the body's silent filter. It works tirelessly, day and night, without rest, cleaning the blood, metabolizing hormones, processing medications, neutralizing toxins, and storing nutrients. It is the inner guardian that protects every system in the body. But when it becomes overburdened, whether by processed foods, stress, alcohol, medications, or excess fat, it starts to fail silently, affecting the entire body's functioning without obvious symptoms. Until one day, a person realizes they're constantly tired, struggling to digest, with dull skin, bad breath, or fluid retention. And that's where the guava and mint mixture plays a crucial role. Mint, with its essential oils and bitter compounds, acts as a gentle choleretic and cholagogue. It stimulates the production and release of bile, essential for digesting fats and eliminating liver toxins. This helps the liver empty and reduces its internal pressure. Guava, rich in vitamin C, fiber, and lycopene, helps protect liver cells from oxidative stress and supports healthy bowel movements. And as we know, the liver can only eliminate toxins effectively when the gut is functioning properly. When the two work together, they create the perfect environment for the liver to breathe and return to full function. And most interesting of all, when the liver improves, the entire body improves. People who take the mixture for more than 2 weeks report changes such as brighter eyes, less drowsiness after meals, fewer frequent headaches, reduced food sensitivities, even better digestion of meats and fried foods. But the most subtle and powerful effect is the one most people overlook, the emotional. A toxic liver can lead to irritability, impatience, and unexplained anger. That's why, after cleansing and calming this organ, many report feeling calmer, more patient, and even at peace. But there's something even deeper to this story. There is a specific time of day when the liver works at its peak, and according to Eastern traditions, that's exactly when this recipe acts most powerfully. Among the many forgotten teachings of traditional medicine, there is one that stands out. The idea that each organ has a specific time of peak energetic and functional activity throughout the day. This concept, deeply rooted in traditional Chinese medicine, divides the body into 2-hour cycles, where certain organs become more active and sensitive. In the case of the liver, this peak occurs between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. It's during this window that the body naturally enters a deep detox phase, recycling the blood and regenerating cells. But for this process to work fully, the body needs to be light and the liver unobstructed. That's why many natural healers and therapists recommend drinking the guava and mint mixture in the morning, on an empty stomach, or in the late afternoon, a few hours before bed. The logic is simple. By preparing the body during the day with ingredients that stimulate and relieve the liver, you allow it to perform better at night. And the results can be felt within the first week. Deeper sleep with fewer interruptions. Less heat or restlessness at night. Waking up feeling lighter and more refreshed. Reduced morning irritability. Additionally, consuming the mixture at the right time helps relieve that inexplicable fatigue upon waking, a classic sign of an overworked liver that couldn't perform its night shift. But there's also a little-known complementary practice that was often used alongside the mixture to accelerate the cleansing and rebalancing process. A gentle massage or warm compress over the liver area, applied just minutes before sleep. In many rural homes, especially among the elderly, it was common to see grandmothers teaching simple health practices, and one of them was applied at night, almost like a ritual. It involved placing a warm compress on the right side of the abdomen, right where the liver is, shortly before bedtime. This technique was used as a natural reinforcement to help the liver function better during the night. And when combined with the daily intake of the guava and mint mixture, the results were even more noticeable. The reasoning behind this practice is sound. Gentle heat over the liver area dilates local blood vessels, improves circulation, and facilitates flow. This helps the liver filter the blood more efficiently, enhances fat metabolism, and boosts the natural toxin elimination process that occurs during sleep. Additionally, the warmth calms the parasympathetic nervous system, promoting deep sleep, exactly what the body needs to regenerate. Many old accounts say that people who used this practice along with the natural recipe were able to reduce frequent headaches, sleep better, even on hot or restless nights, relieve nighttime heartburn and acid reflux, wake up with a light stomach and fresher breath. But there's something even more fascinating. Some people began to notice that, after a few days of repeating this ritual, their bowel habits completely changed. The intestines began to work almost like clockwork, at the same time each day, with smooth, easy elimination, no pain, no strain. This shows that, with natural and consistent stimuli, the body reorganizes itself, without the need for harsh medications, expensive supplements, or industrial formulas. And even with all these benefits for the liver, gut, skin, and mood, this recipe still holds a final, deep, and surprising impact that almost no one expects: the strengthening of the immune system. Most people think boosting immunity is just about taking vitamin C during winter or using some expensive supplement. But the immune system is far more complex, and it begins in the gut, the liver, and the quality of the blood. And guess what? The guava and mint mixture acts directly on those three foundations. Guava is one of the richest natural sources of vitamin C, even more than oranges. This vitamin is essential for producing white blood cells, the body's main defense agents. But what few people know is that the effectiveness of vitamin C depends on the state of the gut and liver. If these organs are overloaded, absorption is impaired. Mint, with its natural antibacterial and antiviral properties, helps reduce microbial load, assisting the body in dealing with both external and internal threats. Its menthol is known for relieving respiratory pathways, soothing sore throats, and improving oxygenation, crucial in cases of colds, sinusitis, and respiratory flare-ups. When this mixture is used regularly, it not only boosts white blood cell production, but also reduces silent inflammation that drains energy and weakens defenses. That's why many people report fewer colds throughout the year, faster recovery after viral infections, fewer recurrent inflammations, like sore throats or cold sores, overall better energy and vitality. There are even reports of people who, after using the mixture for several months, stopped experiencing seasonal respiratory flare-ups. All of this happens because immunity doesn't begin when we get sick. It is built quietly, every day, through internal balance. And the combination of guava and mint, natural, accessible, and pleasant to drink, serves as a daily reinforcement for that balance. But in the end, what is it that really leaves your body when you consume this mixture? What is the deep and final effect of this recipe? And why do so many people return to it, even years later? After understanding all the effects of this mixture, on the gut, the liver, the skin, the emotions, sleep, and even immunity, one question may still remain, the one that sparked this entire journey. What really leaves your body when you mix guava with mint? The answer is simple, but deep. What's in excess leaves? What's weighing you down leaves? What's making you sick leaves? The excess mucus stuck in the intestines leaves. The trapped gas causing silent discomfort leaves. The retained fluid bloating the abdomen leaves. The thick, stagnant bile overloading the liver leaves. The inflammatory burden weakening the immune system leaves. The chemical residue of poorly metabolized medications leaves. The racing thoughts leave. The sadness without reason leaves. The heaviness that keeps you from living lightly leaves. In other words, the excess leaves. The essential remains. And that's why so many people, after just a few days with this recipe, feel as though they've reset their body. Not because it's magical, but because it's natural, ancestral, and deeply in tune with what the human body truly needs: simplicity, balance, and consistency. Guava with mint is not a pharmaceutical product. It's not a bottled miracle. It's raw, living nature offered with wisdom. It's the legacy of wrinkled hands that knew more with the heart than with books. It's the kind of healing you feel, even if you can't explain it. And if you allow this to enter your daily life, you'll realize that it's not just what leaves your body that changes. It's what enters your life because of it. Lightness, well-being, peace. That is the true transformation this mixture brings.